Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Paul's Monday Market Update, number 230 in for Monday, 6th of July, 2026. I hope you're all well. I hope you've had a good weekend. I hope you're sort of not too bleary-eyed and struggling, for those of you like myself who stayed up to watch that football match last night. So it was worth it. I'm glad that it was not only was it a good result, but it was actually a great game to watch and stuff. And so I can live with that. All right, I would have been a bit different had I just stayed up all that time to watch a 0-0 ball draw. But anyway, we go on. Paul's Monday Market Update. Okay, if you're here in the room, I hope you can hear me. Hope you can see the slides. Okay, and that the technology is working fine for us. Those of you joining us for the first time, the Monday Market Update is just that. It is me flying through as much as I can cram into the next 25-30 minutes, looking at strength and weakness within the FX markets, looking at a few charts of interest, then a look at the live markets. It's not a signal service. It's not trade recommendations. It's just me sharing what I'm looking at, which may help you with your own analysis. As always, you are very welcome here, but just remember you're always responsible for your own trading and investing decisions. And as always, if you want a little bit of help and support, we're about to start the Q3 VTP Trader Accountability Group. All right, so just a small group that helps you build discipline, accountability, and consistency. Okay, with other serious, dedicated traders. Once again, there's a bit.ly code there or a QR code, or you can ping me if you've got any questions. Okay, so here we are, some charts of interest for us. Okay, basically, for those of you joining for the first time, it's just me usually looking at weekly charts of a few stocks, okay, a few commodities, perhaps a few ETFs. All right, just they are of interest to me, or help us build a picture of what's going on, or sort of looking at possible future opportunities. Gold, all right, gold on the weekly chart against the dollar. Listen, those of you who joined us regularly knew that was a fantastic trend, okay? A fantastic bullish trend until it wasn't. This rather, what you might say, kind of unorthodox double top, all right, above 5,000. And then really, this year, okay, has been from those highs. We have seen kind of gold sort of, work its way down. And, we always look at it, but I was curious when we started to get beneath the 50 period moving average. Well, I suppose firstly you could say, we flipped the 20. This is the blue 20 period moving average, which had been fantastic support until it wasn't. And then it flipped from being support to resistance. That's PO20 there. Then we went down to the 50. And then if you look at the weekly chart here, we've kind of found ourselves a little bit of support there, haven't we? Around about 4,000. There's a kind of a bullish pinball there. I call that a momentum reversal candle because, we did push to new lows, but we closed, higher than the previous week's close. Okay, that's a momentum reversal rather than a key reversal. But nonetheless, it kind of does make you interested to see, well, okay, are we finding support at that big number of 4,000? And if we are, what are the scenarios I can look at? Well, for me, if we are to see, let's say gold strength, and remember a lot of this, one of the reasons we're looking at this is because it's also a case of, are we going to see that kind of dollar strength weaken as well, which we'll look at in a moment. What I'll be looking for is, well, actually for me, I'd need to get it above the 50 and above that 20, all right, okay, to convince me that we were getting gold strength back in the room, all right. And then of course then you're looking at those highs around about 4,800 to 5,000. So that's one of my scenarios I'll be looking at there for gold. Of course, the other one is that we do rally, but we rally right into this 50, right into this 20, and we get wrapped, and then we get a reversal single, and then basically what we're looking at is, you can see we're just making basically lower highs, another lower high before we kind of push our way back down to 4,000 and break lower. So I'm curious here, but I'm going to be watching this over the next couple of weeks to sort of see how does this play out here. Okay, is this going to bounce strongly, or is this just going to sort of is this a bit of a dead cat bounce into a bit of resistance before it rolls over and falls away? And as I said, part of that is the nature of gold. Part of that is also the nature of the US economy, that inflation narrative, whether that sticks or twists on that, okay, and then of course the impact that it has on US dollar and other asset classes. So as I said, you might want to just add that to your watch list to see how this plays out.